Celby and Her Missing Parts, written and illustrated by Kaylee Wingate. Selby tapped her foot on the cold floor and shifted in her seat nervously. It had been a long time since she had been to the doctor, and she was feeling anxious. She let her thoughts drift, trying to distract herself. Suddenly, the doctor walked in. "I'm Dr. Luke, and I'll be taking care of you today. What seems to be the problem?" "Well, I've been feeling really bad lately. I'm so tired. I've been feeling queasy and bloated," Selby explained to Dr. Luke. "Lay back and let's take a look," Dr. Luke suggested. Selby laid back, and Dr. Luke slid a glass on top of her, squishing her down a little. Dr. Luke slid her under the fancy machine and stepped up to the lens. He flicked on the light and looked through. Interesting," he said. He stepped back from the lens, slid Selby back, and lifted the glass off of her. Selby sat up. "So," she asked, "what's wrong with me?" "You're missing a few organelles. Firstly, your mitochondria are missing." He pulled down a diagram and pointed at it as he explained. "Mitochondria creates energy for you. Since you're missing them, you're tired." Selby listened intently. She didn't know what all of her organelles did. She knew about her nucleus, but that was about it. "Secondly, your lysosomes are missing. These help you get rid of waste. Your membrane is damaged too. Instead of filtering what can come in, it's allowing everything in, even debris. This is why you're feeling bloated and queasy." Dr. Luke pulled down the diagram and let the string go so that it rolled back up with a snap. He leaned back on the counter and stared at Selby. "So I'm missing parts?" Selby asked in a confused tone. "Exactly," said Dr. Luke. "What are we supposed to do about that?" Selby asked. "Oh, I can't do anything about that," explained Dr. Luke. "I help fight infections. You don't have an infection. You're just missing parts. I can't help with that." Selby's eyes got wide and her thoughts began to race. "He can't help me? Will I get any better? What do I do? Will I die? What does he mean? Somebody help me!" Selby's expression remained the same as she left the doctor's office. She dragged her feet and hung her head as she walked home. Along the way, her friend Marcel skipped up beside her. "Why the glum face?" he asked. "I'm missing some parts and I'll never get better," Selby said as she started to cry. Marcel puffed up bravely. "Don't worry, Selby. We'll find your missing parts and fix your membrane. I'll help you get better." So Selby and Marcel set off on their journey through the body. They traveled through blood vessels, squeezed between muscle fibers, and explored the insides of organs. Suddenly, they encountered a bustling area filled with mitochondria, whirling around like fireflies. The mitochondria were busy transforming nutrients into energy, their shapes changing in a dazzling display. "Hello there," they called out in cheerful unison, their voices small and squeaky. "Hi," Marcel exclaimed. "Do you think you guys could help my friend out? You see, she's very sick, and Dr. Luke told her she's missing her mitochondria. She needs to get some more to feel better." "Oh, of course," said a group of mitochondria as they moved towards Selby. "We've been looking for a change of scenery lately, and being your mitochondria would be a great new adventure." Selby was overjoyed as the mitochondria moved into her cytoplasm. She already felt a bit stronger. The mitochondria danced around her, celebrating the boost of energy they had given her. Next, they searched for lysosomes. They decided to check the liver. In a cozy corner, they spotted a group of lysosomes peeking out from a tiny nook. "We're the cleanup crew," the lysosomes chimed, their voices warm and inviting. Each lysosome carried tools and enzymes ready to break down waste and tidy up. Celby explained to the lysosomes how she was sick and needed some lysosomes to help her get better. Thankfully, the lysosomes were just as pleasant as the mitochondria, and a few lysosomes offered to stay with Celby and be her new organelles. Celby still had a problem to solve, her damaged membrane. They knew they needed expert guidance, so they set off in search of wisdom. Soon, they found a wise old cell resting in the muscles of the arm. The old cell smiled gently and said, "To patch your membrane, you'll need special proteins and lipids." Generously, he gave Celby and Marcel a stash that he had gotten over the years. He taught them how to create bits of membrane with the lipids and proteins and placed them in the right spots on Celby. As they worked on repairing the membrane, Celby felt herself getting stronger and healthier. When they finished, she bounced with joy. "Thank you so much, Marcel," Celby exclaimed. "I feel fantastic now that I have all my parts back and my membrane is fixed." Marcel smiled. "That's what friends are for, Celby. I'm just glad you're feeling better." As they began their journey back, Celby felt a deeper appreciation for all of her organelles and the roles they played in her health. She realized that every part, no matter how small, was crucial in keeping her happy and healthy. From that day on, Celby took special care of her organelles and her membrane. She never forgot the amazing adventure she had with her friend Marcel. Together, they continued to explore, learning and growing, ready for whatever adventures lay ahead in their marvelous, microscopic world. So the standard that we would work on with this book would be standard S5L3, obtain, evaluate, and communicate information to compare and contrast the parts of plant and animal cells. Specifically, we would work on element B, which is to develop a model to identify and label parts of a plant cell, including the membrane, wall, cytoplasm, nucleus, and chloroplast, and parts of an animal cell, which include membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus.